Nigerian police force, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court, my lord.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Star Times, Channel 136, that's Spectrum TV. You're also on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. The program you're listening to is Legally Speaking. My name is Anthony Ebuk. I'm a legal practitioner, and you're welcome to the show. I have with me in the studio today to discuss what we are going to, some very interesting topic we're going to discuss today. Ekemini Okpoiso. Ekemini is a legal practitioner. She's with Usmora & Co. in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. So, Ekemini, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Good evening, listeners and viewers.
All right, like I want to say, the expertise season is here again. Very recently, we had a judgment of the State High Court sitting out in the Ebonyi State in HAB 13/2022, which declared that the defection of Governor Umahi from the People's Democratic Party to the APC is legal. That is nothing unconstitutional or illegal about that defection. Shortly thereafter, we had a judgment coming out from the Federal High Courts in Abuja, by Justice Ekwo, which stated that that defection is unconstitutional, illegal, and thereby that the governor, the deputy governor, and all the 16 lawmakers that defected along with them have lost their offices. And therefore, INEC should make effort to reconstitute that state. By reconstitution, I mean create by-election for the local government chairman and the governorship and the deputy governorship position. So, okay, let's start with you. You've heard this news.
Yes, I have.
What has been your impression?
It has really shaken the country. It's everywhere.
All right. So now it's everywhere. What's your impression as a lawyer? Because I know a lot of people want to ask you, lawyer, what's all this thing about? They say governor is no longer a governor, and everybody's telling stories. And the very recent one is the ex parte order that has been issued by the Ebonyi State High Court, stating that the governor would stay for another 7 days pending the motion on notice. And then thereafter, we'll move from there.
Yes.
So let's have a rundown from you. What do you think? What's ex parte application? What is motion on notice? And how does it affect this case?
As the name implies, motion on notice is putting the other party on notice. There are always two parties in a case, and in the instant case, we have Umahi on one side and the respondents, Umahi being the applicant for the motion. And for ex parte, you don't serve the processes on the other party.
Is not put on notice.
It's not put on notice,
okay.
Yes. It's usually where, it's usually for expediency.
Okay, as in this case, it's expedient
Yes,
to
an
come by way of
urgency.
ex parte, all right?
An urgency, yes.
Okay.
Because we
ordinary
cannot wait,
yeah,
yes, for the whole procedure
action to take place. Now, the law that the court used is Section 109 of the Constitution. I think that's a vexed position.
Yes.
And the court is saying that the governor and the legislators have
Defected.
yes, they have defaulted with respect to Section 109 of the Constitution. And Section 109 of the Constitution states that a member of the House of Assembly or Federal House of National Assembly shall vacate his seat if he becomes a member of another legislative house, one, or any other circumstances arising that way, where a member of that house would be caused to be disqualified, which includes vacating or flipping to one other a party other than the party that brought him into power. Yes. Now, but that section is clear on the issues of who should be.
Exactly. The section expressly,
who it affects,
yes,
who it affects, I mean to say.
Expressly states who it affects.
Okay.
And the governor and deputy are not expressly mentioned.
They are not expressly mentioned.
Yes.
It's talking
and
about
what is not expressly
house.
mentioned is meant to be excluded. So we cannot rely on that to declare that the deflection of the governor and his deputy is unconstitutional.
Yes.
Yes.
Because when you consider that provision, it's talking about a member of the House of Assembly, whether it's national or especially the State House of Assembly, vacating his seat, and it's listing conditions on which the State House of Assembly can be vacated. Whether maybe you have become a deputy governor, or you've contested and become governor, or you become a commissioner, you can no longer stay as a member of the House. Your seat will become vacant. And if you vacate or cross-carpet from the party that brought you in. Now, two categories of people were affected by the judgment of in Umahi's case. 16 members of the House of Assembly and the governor and deputy governor of the state. But Justice Ekwo's judgments in the Federal High Court seems to lump everybody up. And it's a novel position. Novel in the sense that nobody expected that the court would ask a governor to vacate his seat.
Yes, it was really strange. Well, I understand the judge's position. I understand his angle. But in law, we do justice according to law, not sentiments. So what does the law say? In arriving at a judgment, you have to consider what the law says. You don't just manufacture facts or provisions.
You don't presume that this is what the law ought to have said.
So to start with, he didn't even have the jurisdiction in respect of the governor and deputy, because there's a section of the Constitution, being Section 308, which prohibits civil or criminal actions against the deputy and the governor. It admits of no exception. That section admits of no exception. So it's absolute. They have absolute immunity.
So Section 308 says that no action, civil or criminal can be brought against a person that occupies the office of the governor, or a deputy governor, the president or vice president, for the period at which they are in office. That's a 4-year term.
Yes.
Every action can commence shortly thereafter.
Yes,
exactly. But I see people sue the governor and the deputy governor, the governor basically, in fundamental right matters
and even land matters.
Land matters.
Yes.
Now,
chieftaincy, rather.
Especially chieftaincy matters. Yes. But that's the office of the governor, not the person of the governor, like in this case, Umahi, right?
Yes.
Exactly. You would sue the government by suing governor. So it doesn't affect him personally, whether he stays in office or is out of office. The judgment will subsist him and survive him. But in this case, the case against him was specific. He was named by his real name, Umahi, right? And it goes beyond that to say he was a member of a particular political party, which is personal. And in his personal decision, he has moved away from that party and should be attached. An offense should be attached to him. Now, the law clearly defines what and what should be considered for a removal of the governor.
Exactly.
Can you enlighten parts of
It
such?
could either be done by impeachment.
Yes, yeah. So
That's by the House of
either
Assembly.
the House probably impeaches the governor for what they call those offenses,
Gross
misconduct.
misconduct, yes.
Then by resignation dates, those issues. And unfortunately, none of this
Played out in the
in this instant case.
Yes, it's very
So
unfortunate.
if this don't play out in the instant case, the question is, how then, where then did the governor invoke the powers, the courts, sorry.
And again, we also have it on record. There is no rule or law in the constitutions of this APC and PDP expressly prohibiting members from
Cross-carpeting.
defecting or making it, would I call it a crime or something?
Okay, making it illegal.
Illegal, yes, to cross carpet.
Prohibiting them from crossing if they are elected into office.
And courts are not even supposed to interfere in the affairs of the associations to which a member voluntarily submits to.
Okay, now, in arriving at his judgment, the court made references to certain positions of other Supreme Court authorities, all right?
Yes.
Like the case of
Amechi and
INEC,
yes.
and this other person, this Kogi man, James Falake's case,
yes.
where he stated that in Amechi and INEC and James Falake's case, the Supreme Court had ruled that it is the party that owns the votes, all right, yes. And not the individual.
The candidate, yes.
So based on that, the votes that he used in winning the election and moving into office remains with the party. So having left to join another party, he cannot share in the votes that belong to the party, that in this case the PDP.
Yes.
So what happens? He abandons his vote. And I think in Ato Nzeribe and was it UPN, back in the days, Ato Nzeribe and UPN, 1983 judgment, that the same thing happened, where the court said Ato Nzeribe, as a legislator then in the National Assembly, could not have validly cross-carpeted because there's no honor in what he did. He left honor behind and went somewhere else, and Ato Nzeribe was removed and impeached. Now, the court relied on that to say Umahi should vacate his office. And what do you think it's a position? What position would you say?
I really am of the opinion the judgment was per incuriam.
Okay.
With utmost respect.
When we say per incuriam, we are not talking to us.
I really do think the judge, with all due respect to him, erred in law. Yes, because there is absolutely no provision in the Constitution that makes it illegal or unconstitutional for governors, for sitting governors or deputy governors to defect to another party.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this other thing, what I'm considering is that the law in Ato Nzeribe's case, which the court cited and several other cases, made pure references to legislators.
Exactly.
Which is what the Constitution also says.
Yes.
The Constitution is very clear that legislative members cannot cross-carpet. I remember sometime on this show a while ago, that was during the last season of National Assembly, where Godswill Akpabio was in power. There was cross-carpeting. Godswill Akpabio left to APC. And the Senate president then equally left to PDP.
Yes.
Now, the law provides that where a member of any of the houses would cross carpet, for instance, the senator will leave from one political party, the political party that
brought
him into power, leaves to another political party, that the Senate president shall declare his seat vacant. That has happened in some cases, like in the Houses of Assembly, the House will declare the seat vacant. I remember Onofio Okluk in last administration declared some seats vacant in Akwa Ibom State based on that defection. Particularly, I think the seat of the member representing Itu constituency, and I think a member representing, I'm not very sure if it was, what they call this local government. The Synodom, yes. So they declared it vacant, and they went to court, and the court upheld that declaration, all right? But the Constitution at that point clearly said who will declare it vacant. I know there are some cases where people cross-carpeted and there was no declaration by the, especially where the head of the House, the Speaker, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the National Assembly, where they also have cross-carpeted. So they refused to make the declaration as the court says, as the law says. Now, in this wise, the Constitution was very clear on the modalities. If you're saying that the governor has breached the Constitution, what was the modality for removal of the governor? Did the Constitution provide for that modality? Because it said for the House, the Speaker would declare. So, for the governors, did he say the House shall impeach? He never said so. Does the silence in the Constitution mean whatever the court decides?
Exactly. I really doubt that would be the case. Because to start with, I wouldn't want to say he sort of lost sight of the implication of Section 308, which in the first instance robs him of jurisdiction to even hear the matter. And jurisdiction is the life wire of any adjudication of any matter in court. Without jurisdiction, everything done in the matter is futile.
Okay, by jurisdiction now, I guess you're talking about the powers to say what you're saying, to do what you're doing, to even hear the matter. Because ordinarily, anybody, you can say whatever you want to say, but the law defines or defines what you do as a court.
Yes.
There are some matters you can't take to the High Court. You have to take them to the Magistrate Court. There are some matters that can't go to the Magistrate Court. You have to start from the Customary Court. Some goes to the Federal High Court. Some start at the Court of Appeal. Okay. Now, if you take those matters to any other court other than the court of its original jurisdiction, they will say we don't have powers to listen to this matter. Now, the section of the Constitution 308 says no personal case can be brought against the governor. Bringing this particular case means a personal case has been instituted against the governor. Exactly. And the governor did not even need to go to court to answer it. All right?
Exactly. That's
the governor did not need to go to court. Exactly. Because this law has been very clear. And the Constitution is the ground norm. Yes. So when you now come to say, well, whereas the Constitution has not said anything about the governors, I have seen the Constitution say something about the legislators. And I think in the spirit of that, the Constitution does not like defection. Or the Constitution, that provision also contemplates the governor and the deputy. Yes, even when the provision is very clear. Mentioned. And, you know, this rule that says that anything that is not expressly stated in the law is expressly excluded. Exactly. If it's not expressly stated that this is the law, then it means it is expressly stated that this is not the law. Exactly. Okay. Well, I understand his position, or what may have influenced his position, being that I'm thinking he's trying to prevent a situation where a political party brings a person into power and then another political party reaps
from it.
Well, I think that's exactly.
I think that's what he's
that's
trying to
exactly what
prevent.
happened. Because if you look at it, the political party that brought them to power
Exactly.
was PDP.
Yes.
Now, the political party will only bring a handful of people to power, not all the people.
Yes.
So that handful are representing that political party,
Yes.
the ideals and the hopes and aspirations of that political party for the state. Now, having selected who should lead them, who should be their front.
Having canvassed for votes.
Okay, so having done that, you now take out the winners of the election to another political party
Exactly.
and leave the party, its ideals, its dreams and aspirations stranded.
Exactly.
Anyway, if you are listening to us or watching us, we'll soon be going on a break. After that break, we'll open the phone lines for callers to call in and contribute and ask questions. Now, the numbers to call will be 090-222-31011. I repeat that number, 090-222-31011. The alternative number will be 081-762-48565. I repeat the alternative number, 081-762-48565. So when we come back on a break, then we'll open the phone lines. But until then, now.
And let's not forget there was a decision
Exactly,
in Igigi,
that's where I wanted to go to.
2012, which held that the political party is merely an agent of the candidates.
Yes.
It canvasses for votes and its influence ends after the election.
Yes, yeah, that's the arguments that the court also raised, that it is the political parties that is on the ballot box and not the parties, the candidates.
Exactly.
So when you vacate, the ballot papers remain with the political parties. But that decision you're talking about...
This decision is a departure from
yes,
the other that say
that
the votes belong to the political party and
yes,
not the individual. This one is saying
the Supreme Court then said
parties
that the political parties are
merely agents. They
of
canvass for votes.
their duty
for
is to
the
canvass for votes,
Exactly.
rally to make their
And that's where
candidate
it
succeed.
ends.
And when the candidate succeeds, the political party ceases to do its work
Exactly.
until the next political season.
Exactly.
All
So
right.
this person is the governor of the state, not of
Of
PDP,
the PDP, not
or
of the
APC
political party.
or- yes.
I know the argument is also still controversial because when you consider that, okay, look at this, look at the House of Assembly,
Yeah.
are they still agents? Why is it? What's the peculiarity? You
Well,
understand?
the beautiful thing about law, or to some, maybe some people say law is an art. The thing is, the law can be given different interpretations.
No, but in this case, I doubt if the law is given a different interpretation. Because what I tend to see is that the houses of assemblies are the lawmakers, they are the people that will frame the policies of the party into law, not the executive. So if you don't allow the houses of assembly, you don't allow the majority to keep their policies,
Okay.
then you'll be in trouble. So that is how it works. You allow the political parties in the National Assembly to stay on, use their majority to make provisions and laws that will shape the dream of that political
the
party.
that brought it.
All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.
The Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police.
No, my Lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did?
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our
Is
matters.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my Lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord. These cases are in court, my Lord. I'm just reminding your Lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
All right, welcome back to Legally Speaking. You are still on Spectrum TV, channel 136 Star Times, and Plain Radio 101.1 FM. The program you're listening to is Legally Speaking. And my name is Anthony Ebuka, and I have Kebini Okwoiso, a legal practitioner with me. And we are looking at the seasons of the ex parte orders. Now, generally speaking, during the political season, there are lots of court orders flying left, right, and center. It's expressed in the Umahi's case, where the court, so the court in what do you call it? Ebonyi State has already granted pronounced the judgment that there is nothing wrong with the defection of Umahi and his deputy. Now, the Federal High Court is coming to say,
the defection was unconstitutional
and illegal, and that you've lost your seat. Now, one came after the other. There's a presumption that there should be a unity of orders of courts. Now, there's an ex parte order staying, trying to maintain the judgments of the High Court sitting in Ebonyi State against that of the Federal High Court.
And there's also an appeal against the
judgment of the Federal High Court. So that is creating an impression that we are not coordinated as far as law and courts are concerned. So you can join the conversation by calling 090-222-31011. The alternative number to call will be 081-762-485-65. So you can join us from there. All right. So now, ordinarily, one would think that a court of law having granted this position, the other court ought to back off. There's a judgment saying, whether or not I like the judgment, you tell the other party it's an abuse of the process of court to come with this same application when there is a court of coordinate jurisdiction having pronounced on it, same parties, same location.
Because ordinarily, where a trial court has made its pronouncement, the satisfied parties appeal to a higher court, not file the same application in another court of coordinate jurisdiction. It amounts to an abuse of court process.
Yeah, because when you consider that the court, if not, there will be no end to litigation.
Exactly, and
everybody will go to court, go to a friendly court, get your own order. Exactly. The other one, like we see what happened when Umahi came out. That was outright foolishness. He came out and said he would choose the order of court that he wants to obey. All right, let's take this call.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Is that legally speaking, right?
You're on to legally speaking. Go on, sir.
Okay, sir. Let me contribute. And
your name?
Law 111. Hello?
Your name and where you're calling from?
Nda Sukwa from Oran.
Okay, Nda from Oran. Go on, sir.
Okay, sir. In my law 111, and one of my lecturers told me something about judicial rascality.
Okay.
Yes, judicial rascality. I think that should be conflicting judgment, because we have judgment from different courts, as in from different jurisdictions. I think you as a barrister or a lawyer, that should be a judicial rascality. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. If it's seen from that point of view, if you are looking at it from that point of view.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, judicial rascality as he's trying to perceive.
I knew that would come up.
Yeah, is where a judge goes totally out of the norm, tries to see things radically, and law is a conservative profession, right? And we expect that it's what is called stare decisis. That's the superior decisions bound the courts of lower inferior courts, right?
And it's even rather unfortunate that sometimes we have the Supreme Court holding two different positions in different cases.
Yeah, when they hold such positions, the later decision prevails is the new law, right?
Except it's set aside.
Yes. Okay, some people are saying that law is what the judges say they are. John Austin, right?
These are the realist school of thought.
All right, let's take this call before we get to the realist school of thought. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Is that Planet 101?
Yeah, this is Planet 101.1 FM. This is Legally Speaking.
Yes, okay. My name is Mr. Poisu. I want to contribute to the discussion.
All right. Don't worry, assistant.
My contribution is, the legislators and so on, the speaker can declare the seats vacant and so on. But for the governor, maybe there is no such person to declare vacant. So that is left for judicial interpretation. And, I doff my hat for this judge for having the courage to bring sanity to the political space. Because as he rightly put it, the votes are not personal votes. They are party votes, and nobody can transfer, nobody can carry such votes. So we must begin to have some judicial pronouncement that will make the politicians to sit up so that there will be sanity in the political space. That's my contribution, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nse. Yeah, so respond to your brother.
My father, rather.
Oh, that's your father, okay.
I understand his position. Yes, there is need to restore order in the judicial system. But still, whatever we do in the courts and in law, they have to be as laid down, as stipulated by the law, by the Constitution, or any other existing act of the National Assembly or
All right,
state.
Mr. Poyso, I'll get back to you. Let's take this call. Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Edidium from Ibianibo.
Edidium from Ibianibo. Go on, sir.
Please, there is something that worries me, so I want to know the answer.
Okay, go on.
I can remember that both Prophet Obena Yare and Sapara State Governor, including Ebonyi State Governor, the one that is defected from this PDP to APC. Then my question is that, what about the 15 senators, including Aminu Chambo, who are all defected from APC to PDP in either 2015 or 2019 election? What can we say about that 15 senators? Please, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, that's a good question. And you see, we consider that the senators' defection were legal. Were illegal, I mean to say. Their defections were illegal. But you see, because Tambuwa was the head of that house, he could not declare his seat vacant. Okay, let's take this other call.
Yes, in this particular case, I don't have much to say at this point in time, but I want to quickly say that politicians, they know what is right and they know what is wrong.
Yeah.
And most times, they do the wrong thing just to take the credibility of the court. And at this point in time now, the court is supposed to live up to expectation because the hope of every common man is on the court. So should court fail to do their needful, then the hope not.
So what's the needful here? What's the needful here?
You see, the danger with that position is if we begin to just act according to what we think is right, there's going to be an issue. That's why they are laid down laws to ensure that due process is followed in arriving at decisions and is devoid of sentiments. Yes, or any form of bias. These judges are humans. They would definitely have their bias or whatever.
Okay,
so the law keeps them in check.
Let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
This is Aniebe. I'm calling from Ita in Ikona.
Aniebe from Ita. Go on, sir.
I think with due respect, it is wrong. With due respect, I think it is wrong for the judge, who is a professional in law, to rely on the law that was passed by the Supreme Court instead of him relying on the constitution of the land. So I think it was wrong somehow due respect for him to have done that. He's supposed not to rely on the judgment of the Supreme Court. He's supposed to have relied upon the Constitution before delivering judgment. Thank you for having me, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's start with Mr. Poiso. Mr. Poiso talked about the fact that somebody is taking the bold step, to try to sanitize the system.
Yes.
Law adjudication in Nigeria is not about sanitizing the system. It's about stating the provision of the law as it is.
Giving life to
whether
the
or not you hear the judges say, well, this is my thinking, but my hands are tied.
Exactly.
My hands are tied because the judge must go by the evidence before it, and that evidence must be in line with the extant laws of the land. Okay, let's take this call. Go on. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, my name is Friday. I'm calling from Etimego.
Friday from Etimego. Go on, sir.
I think if in that case, our constitution then have a very big error.
Okay.
Because we cannot be having constitution in a country and the politicians are playing with the political party that give them a platform to become whatever they become. I'm not a politician.
Okay.
But in this case, the lawyer or the judge, as the someone who have called has said, is to bring sanity among the politicians.
Okay.
They know the right thing. So that which is the right, they should do it.
Okay.
Not when they do otherwise, they begin to run, declare constitution, say this constitution didn't say that.
Okay.
No, it is very, very wrong when a political party gives you the privilege to make use of, and you decamp.
Yes.
Remain in your party, finish up your tenure. If you want to leave, you can leave.
Yes.
So the judge is the right because he's a lawyer.
Okay.
Umahi is my brother, he's my governor, but I cannot support him in this.
Okay.
So running from here to here does not help.
Okay.
So I pray that the appeal court will uphold the judgment so the politicians will equally to learn their lesson. And the lawmaker that are making the constitution should enshrine it in the constitution.
Okay.
If it is not in the constitution.
Okay.
So when you want to choose a political party, you know that you have to choose a political party to belong.
All right.
Not when you win an election, you jump out into another political party. For what?
All right.
It is a stealing. It is a thief.
Thank you very much for your
It's a thief
contribution.
for the political party that gives you a platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Anyway, you see, a lot of sentiments are running on this, on the grounds that the judge is trying to do the right thing. But you see, when you say, if the law says an armed robber will be given a maximum of 7 years imprisonment, and the judge goes ahead out of anger that the robbery is too rampant, to pronounce an imprisonment of 12 years or 14 above his jurisdiction, no matter how activist you are as a judge, you can't go beyond what the law says. Exactly. Don't try to sanitize the system with your own feeling. The system can only be sanitized with the law. Mm-hmm. So when you now come to say things that are not within the law, you can cause mayhem. Exactly. You can cause a civil war.
Exactly.
So
the best that can be done.
Now, sorry, sir. Let me just ask this question. What happens now if Umahi leaves and the political parties begin to say, Effiong go? Some faction of the political party will say Okon will go.
Exactly.
Some will say this other person, a war will start, and for the next 2 years, we will not have a governor in the Ebonyi state. Because now we are looking at Umahi. We are not looking at the governor that will come. All right, let's take another call. Hello.
Why?
Yes, good evening. You're on to Legally Speaking. Hello. All right, we lost that call. So these are the things people are not considering.
They are not averting their minds to that.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes.
I went to speak tomorrow.
Okay, go on, sir.
Please, I want to ask, why the same law allow the governor to defect from APC to PDP? And the same law allow the former governor of Ondo State to defect from Labour Party, in which the PDP rejected him deny him ticket. He went to Labour Party and got the ticket and won the general election. And later, after 3 years, he defected back to PDP. Why the same law allow such action?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, that's part of the question, yeah? So yes, you always say?
Yes, that's the issue. Well, we appreciate the concerns of the citizens and the people who have called in so far, but the law is the law, and unless it's reformed, right? That's the law, and that's the only law we know in the courts, and that's the only thing that the judge should give life to.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you. This is Patrick calling.
Okay.
Yeah, to sanitize the system, is the judge sanitize the system in line with the law?
Yes.
Because the judge is not the owner of this country and the constitution of Nigeria. Yes. He has to base his judgment based on the constitution. That is the law.
Yes.
Based on the constitution. You don't just come out and say, why should my child wear judge maker? I'm a judge. No. I want everybody to wear the trouser. It's not. See, the problem that in this country, that the desperation of PDP is the overpower that they have been destroying this country. That is what all this problem in the country is being masterminded by the PDP. For some detected the governor of the state detected and whatever. They are not talking. They are celebrating. But when they detected from their party to the other, they want to cause crisis problem, and they don't. The spiritual is just helping matters. That is the problem. That is what the president right out at. The problem of this country, one of the major problems is the spiritual.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think he's made a very solid point.
Yes, he has, and that's what we've been saying since.
What people should learn is that when you make a decision as a judge that is not in line with the law, it's called judicial rascality.
Exactly.
You don't try to pick from here to here to say this is why I'm making this decision. You must cite a particular law where your decision is founded upon. Now, if the position of the constitution you are looking at refers to the legislative house, it doesn't concern you.
Exactly.
At all. It has no business with the executive. They've cited several governors that defected, even up to the Olukpoktu's governor in Cross River State that defected and still defected. He's in line with the law. But all the members of House of Assembly that defected with him are illegal members of the House of Assembly. All right? So when people criticize the Constitution had a reason why they said the governors should not be affected, the presidents should not be affected if they defect. That was to stabilize the polity. Now, the new Supreme Court position said nobody can move to become governor if he hadn't participated in the processes of the electionary, which includes nomination primaries and the election proper. Now, when you remove Umahi, who will step into his shoe? Is he going back to APC? Because APC came second, and there was a candidate who was second. Now, are you giving it to that person or to the party?
Exactly. So there will still be issues.
There will still be issues. Because if you say it's the party that has the vote, then the person that should come and must go through the process of nomination.
Exactly.
You won't just handpick somebody. You will go through the process of election. So we cannot use the court system to create problems within the society.
Okay. So the best we can do is advocate for reforms where the law is silent on certain issues. We can advocate that the issues be included or...
Yeah, good. Let's take this call, please. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
My name still remains I'm pretty there is one I want to ask. Even though the court is say should vacate the office, please, I want to ask, can we say that camping from Party A to Party B will stop in Nigeria? Please, I want to know.
That's a good question. I'm supposed to answer that question.
I didn't even really get the
He
question.
said, now, even if the court is right, can we say that jumping from party A to party B will stop in Nigeria? Even if what the court is saying is right.
Well, except there's an express position that renders the jumping unconstitutional or
even when
illegal.
there's an express provision that says the what do you call them, the National Assembly, the legislators should
I mean
not
for the
cross-carpeting.
governor and the...
But they are cross-carpeting even now that there is an express position.
Exactly. So those are the real
So
issues.
all you need to do is cross-carpet to the party in power and nothing will happen. But if you are leaving from the political party that is leading to the opposition party, then they will invoke the provision of the constitution. It was invoked in Akwa Ibom State, and it's been invoked in several other states. So that's the problem we are having in this situation. So now APC is contesting. They've gone on appeal against that judgment.
Of the Federal High Court.
Yes, of the Federal High Court. But I think part of what they should be alluding to, people have written petitions against the judge. PDP has written petition against the judge of the High Court in Ebonyi State. And APC has written petition, all of them to Judicial Service Commission, asking the judges to be removed from office. But I think the court in Ebonyi State is not out of place.
He's not out of place.
Yeah, because he was following the law as it is.
Yes.
He says, I can't find any way in the law where he says this man is guilty of any offense. And he can't import
provisions that don't exist
into the law.
Exactly.
So the worry is also that this other one, the stay of execution, came by ex parte order, which is what is worrying the people. Well, like you explained earlier, ex parte orders are orders made for emergencies. There should not be any vacuum in power. The moment the court says, transmitting name, INEC, give this person certificate, is INEC going to give them certificate of return? Return from what? Yes, what are you returning from?
Exactly.
So INEC cannot give you certificate. Is INEC coming to swear you in? Is INEC coming to declare you the winner of what?
Of which election?
Or they will declare you governor. How can you get declared governor without being declared a winner of something? You know, so there are so many issues that will be thrown up if the later judgments of Honorable Justice Ekwo is upheld. So that's just our worry. So let's start the rounding up process. We should be out of this place in a minute or two. So what's your final impression on the whole system, the whole judgments and orders as regards to this Ebonyi State crisis?
All I can say is, for the time being, I do feel the decision of the Federal High Court would be upturned on appeal because it was not founded on law, but on sentiment, with due respect. And I'm imploring on judges that when pronouncing on matters or in cases, please let's avert our minds to the provisions of the law. That's the only way to prevent judicial rascality. That's all I have to say.
All right, I think in my own view, the role of the courts is strictly to interpret the laws as they are and not to import and try to write or amend the laws as though they are House of Assembly. If the law has not made provisions for a particular thing and it is not, if you feel there's a lacuna, it's not your place as a judge to fill that lacuna. Is to recommend to the House to start working on it and amending the law or constitution to fill that lacuna. That's how the size of the program on Legally Speaking. I've had a Kemini Opoiso with me, and my name is Anthony Ebuk. We are both legal practitioners, and you'll be listening to Plan Radio 101.1 FM and watching us from Spectrum TV, channel 136 Star Times. Until we meet again, same time next week, I hope everything you do from now till then will be legal.
Police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.